Welcome to the 9th Annual Wisdom 2.0 Conference. There are about 3,000 of you from over 30 countries all converging here for the next couple of days. And it's an honor to be with you yet again. My name is Soren again. And when I had this idea, this was about 10 years ago, it seemed pretty crazy in the sense of, would people really gather for a mindfulness and a wisdom and compassion conference? And I remember speaking to a friend of mine who was a marketing agent, a marketing executive at the time. And he's like, all right, Soren, I'll help you with your idea. Who's your target audience? Do you want to do entrepreneurs? Do you want to target HR executives? Like, who's your target audience? And I said, anybody who really cares about wisdom and mindfulness and compassion. That's my target audience. And he looked at me, he's like, no. That can't be your target audience. I was like, no, I sense that there's a gathering of people that are out there that, that this might resonate with. So we've gone from a couple hundred to a couple thousand. And what are we doing here, I guess, is often a question that people come with. And we try not to answer that too much because we believe in kind of organicness. So while there's talks and there's things planned, often the beauty is in the unplanned. So that can happen on stage, but that also can happen in an interaction you might have on the way to lunch or walking to the breakout or going to the bathroom. So we like to present this kind of environment where learning can happen in multiple modalities. And we have some amazing things planned with teachers. We have breakout sessions, and we'll go over that in a minute. But first, I really want to welcome you. And I feel like our world is at a bit of a critical time. And in many ways, I feel like there's a leadership vacuum happening in our world today. And I don't know if we can really look to our political parties to guide us through this. And I don't know if we can really look to our corporations to guide us through this. And I feel like there needs to be a gathering of people who can lead us through this. And I hope we can be a part of that. I think our political parties serve a purpose, but I think primarily they were created to win races and to make another party look bad. And every time we get a new leader, we seem to disenfranchise yet another group of people. And so it feels like there's this opportunity for another kind of movement that doesn't create another other, and that looks at how to heal trauma, looks at how we can show up more fully and be present as parents and as coworkers and as partners, and helps to birth and kind of bring forth a new kind of consciousness within the culture that's much more integrated and it's much more healing. And so I feel like that's actually what we're doing here, and though there'll be all kinds of talks with all kinds of different titles and all kinds of different people, for me what we're doing is we're beginning to try to tune in and to sense and to, the best word I have is to birth something that can take us forward into this next chapter of this society and of this world. And I feel like the last chapter has served us well, and it's completely unsustainable in our current system. And so we need you all. We need all of you. We need your minds. We need your hearts. We need your skill sets to help us kind of tune into this. And I think we have some of the most exquisite midwives here with us today, some of the best teachers and best people that I know that we could gather to help navigate us and to help kind of midwife us into this next chapter for our society. And so that's why I'm here. And so we put this together every year. There's countless staff, and there's like about 100 volunteers. So it's like a huge effort that we put through. And people often ask me, like, why don't you just do this online? Like, it would be so much easier. You don't have to rent out a big hotel. You don't have to, like, fly all these people in. It'd be so much easier. And it's never been that exciting to me. And I think part of my excitement is actually being able to see you and actually being able to connect and to feel what it's like to be present together. And I have a sense that something so much more powerful and magical can happen through us actually showing up and being present together. So I want to thank you for traveling so many miles to get here so we could actually be here together and see what might evolve from this kind of shared presencing, if you will. So while it's a lot of work, and I know it's not easy finding parking and getting through the city and navigating, to me, there's just something so rewarding about human presence and human connection. and feeling you and seeing you, and what we can gather and what we can begin to envision together is just so much stronger when we can have that human connection. So that's why I'm here, and we'll have a chance to also share a little bit about why you're here in a minute. But I just want I want to welcome you, and I also want you to, as much as you can, just relax. Like, you're in the right place. You chose the perfect seat. You picked out the perfect dress and shirt to wear. I don't know how you did it, but it's just right, just the right balance of like business but casual, and wisdom but not too new agey. So somehow you did it. You picked out the right costume for this. You found the right seat. You're in the right place. Hopefully all your children and husbands and wives and stuff are all taken care of. They're good. And we can just feel at home, and we can feel relaxed, and we can just enjoy what this is going to be. It's kind of like a trip. I don't do a lot of drugs, but we're just going to go on a trip together. And the most important thing is to sit back and relax and to trust. And again, for us anyways, and for me, the wisdom comes in so many different forms. And you might completely resonate to one speaker and something says, and then you might not resonate with somebody else, but we'll have a whole variety of different things. So thank you and welcome, and I am now going to introduce Michelle Gale, who will be our MC for the weekend. Michelle is many, many, many things. She just came out with a book called Mindful Parenting in a Messy World. If you haven't checked it out, please do. And in any community, there's a few people who just kind of hold the heart space of that community. And Michelle is that really for the Wisdom 2.0 community. I met her 8 or 9 years ago, and she's always the one that if I ever have a question, I just call her and I ask her, and she tunes into her heart and she gives me the right answer. Whether it's about a speaker or about a place, she just tunes into her heart, and she's just like, what's your heart saying? How does your heart feel? And so she's really, in so many different ways, like the heart of this community. So Michelle Gale could please come out. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be your MC this year and to have the honor of standing here with my dearest friend, Soren. I was introduced to Wisdom 2.0 just before the first conference happened, and I was working at Twitter at the time, and I was sitting on my computer, and it was the first week I was there, and I overheard the VP of Engineering talking about this Wisdom 2.0 conference. So I went to my computer and looked it up, and like, these are my people. You are my people. I have to go to this conference. And I couldn't go to the conference. It was literally my second day. So I didn't go, but I asked our VP of Engineering if he'd introduce me to Soren, which he did. And Soren came to visit me at Twitter, and we had like a 4-hour meeting in the conference room, and that was the day I became a spy for Wisdom 2.0, because at the time, no one would speak here. You couldn't find an executive to speak here. And now they're coming out of the woodwork. So we've made a lot of ground, and thank you to all of you. You are my Sangha, you are my community, and I'm really honored to serve all of you.
Right. So we're going to spend a little time helping you get connected to some of the people sitting by you. Real quickly, how many people are here all alone? Like, they just came not knowing anybody? Wow. Okay. So that's going to change in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Wait, one other question.
Yeah.
How many people are here for the first time? Will you stand? Stand. Look around. Woohoo! Wow. That is awesome. Awesome. All right, have a seat. How many people are here for the second time? Stand. That's a good crowd. Awesome. Look around and sit down. How about who's here for a third time? Beautiful. Okay, have a seat. And one more. Who's here for a fourth time or more?
Wow.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Beautiful. So what we want to do is we come here as individuals, and that's really important, and we have our own little worlds that we inhabit. But we also create a we space. We create a community, even just for these couple days. So we want to foster that. We want to take time for that. So I'm going to pass it over to Michelle, who will guide us in a few exercises to kind of create some connections here.
Yeah. So in a moment, I'll have you turn to 2 or 3 people that are around you. And if you could each share, we'll take a couple of minutes total for the 3 of you. If you could each, 2 or 3 of you, if you could each share that moment that it was yes that you were coming here today and for this weekend. What was that moment, if you can remember it? Go ahead.
Great.
And finishing up your conversations, starting to come back. It's taking a collective breath together. Everybody take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back. Wonderful. All right, we have one more for you to do. And Soren and I are gonna do an example of this one first.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
So this one is to turn to someone near you, just one other person, and ask them, Soren, what is something most people don't know about you?
Me. A lot. I think one thing is I grew up in West Texas, and like the Bible, my family's over there. That's how they say hello in West Texas, actually. Yeehaw! I grew up in West Texas. It's something not many people know. They think I grew up in California. So I grew up in actually a really super conservative part of the world, like most of my friends and family. So, and I also studied political science in college. I didn't study Eastern whatever or psychology or something. Yeah. How about you? What is one thing people don't know about you?
You know, as much as I talk about my kids, and I do talk about my kids a lot, most people don't know that I really love to prank them periodically. One year, it was Mother's Day, and I went in this big, long, dramatic, oh, it's Mother's Day, and, day that I get to do, we get to do what Mom wants to do. And they were young, and one of my kids literally like fell on the bed, just like in horror, wondering what it was going to be. And I kind of drew it out for a while, and then I told them we were going to Six Flags. and they went crazy. So I love to...
You like to prank your children.
Yeah, to practical jokes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you can say whatever. You can make something up. You can play with it. So if you could just turn, and maybe even find somebody different if you can, or just find somebody to connect with. What is one thing looking at you they might not know, somebody might not know?